Hi, you guys. It's Theresa Stirling, and it's great to have you here. Thanks for being membership collective members. It is foundational and means the world. Thank you so much. And tell others about it if you will, because we definitely want to really get things rolling this year, have some juicy conversations about a wide range of things. Everything from being more present, more intentional, getting sales, whatever it is your goods or services are, things that really matter to you, honing your sweet spot, your voice, whatever it is that you're bringing to the planet. And I always remind people, just remember, you are the only one in the world that can do what you do. So let that sink in. Anyway, I just wanted to say, let's kick off the new year in all the right energetic ways. I have been getting a lot of questions about how do you price things, say, for example, if it is art or if it's a service and so on. And, think about realistically a couple of basics. How much time do you put into it? Roughly what you think your hourly time is worth. Take a look around at your contemporaries in whatever marketplace it is. If it's in art, it's easy for me to look around and say, what are other encaustic artists charging as they emerge, as they're mid-career, and as they're at their top tier, and they've done some really luxurious projects, or they've been written up plenty. So I use that as my bellwether. I would say the same thing applies across the board. But think about how much your hourly time really is worth, and the materials. And as a person who studied economics in school, I'm a big fan of looking at, margin flexibility, we'll call it. And that means have an idea what your top tier price is. Maybe come down just a little bit. It's always easier to raise it up as you're selling more and or make more inventory than it is to have it too high, sell none, and keep dropping it down. So think about, that flexibility, but come to the market and also be willing to flex some. If most of your pieces are selling out and you need to be more, well, you're edging into a scarcity, so you don't need to flex. But if you have an inventory issue problem where you have art for sale and it's just stocking up in your studio, then I would say flex more on your pricing, and you want to sell more at a little bit fewer price tier than just wait. And the same thing goes for your services. Just use the market, what the market bears, as your bellwether and your reliability. So I would say there, be sure before you even come to the market that you have a website in play that looks good, it looks professional. I would rather see a website with 2 really stunning pages than one that maybe doesn't look as professional and has 8 or 10 pages. So just consider that. And also an ability to do commerce with sales. Online sales are great. Get yourself a marketplace where you can actually get transactions sent to you, done by you online. And there are lots of venues for that. You can reach out. But in the case of selling art, I started with Etsy. I started with selling through my site and so on. And then make sure you have great print leave behinds, whatever that means to you, that it looks like your style, your brand, and has maybe a QR code on it, have one on your phone. So you can say, hey, go see my website for more. I'll leave this with you. I'd love to have an art show here, or I'd love to give a talk on what it is that I do for your league, your membership, your whatever it is. And really, at the end of the day, I wanted to also say, for those of us who maybe are at a place in life where it's not about sales, but it's about deepening your voice, there are a lot of ways to think about how to increase your own, I would say, currency with your work. It's not about relational currency, which I think selling is, and we can talk more about that, but just your own direct relation with your work. And I would say be more present, get out for walks in nature more, and just really fill up all your cups. Be well rested, be well fed, nourishing yourself whenever you get a chance. There's enough in the world that will nibble at us and our energies at any given time. But when you're creating be with the piece. Be willing to be still enough to listen to the piece. Be willing to pivot. Be willing to go over some things and redo, restart. Lie fallow if you're not feeling it, and then come back when you really are, even if it's in a month or two and you have that time luxury. So those are some things that have been on my mind. And then about the selling, just to jump back, for those who love it when others value what they do, whether it's a good or a service, just remember too, to spend enough time caring about what you make or what you provide that you are really in love with it enough to let that shine through. People buy from who they trust, who they know, and who seems truly passionate about what they do. And the relationship piece is, even if you don't know a person, it's still, think of it as a luxury transfer. You're imparting a little bit of knowledge, top line, about what it is you do or what it is you're selling. And just be succinct. Be able to tell your story in a very succinct way. Be flexible. Be personable. And most importantly, follow up with people and let them follow up with you. Just give them little touch points to follow up. And of course, you've kind of got to be, if you're selling something tangible, especially, have somewhat of a presence online, whatever that looks like to you. It can be LinkedIn, it can be social, it can be through, just beyond maybe a website. But being a marketer has a lot of prongs, and never more so than in the time in which we live with AI on the scene. It's not going away. We figure out ways to use it. Again, if that's your pull, if your pull is deepening your practice, we've got a lot more coming for you. So stay tuned. It is so great to have you. I am so excited to just jumpstart this year with enthusiasm, unbridled enthusiasm, and the thought that everything really is possible, and we get back what we put out into the world. It's law of attraction at its most fundamental. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Drop us a note and tell us what's working well for you and what you'd like to see more of. Okay, bye-bye.